Hi everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of this data visualizations project. Last time we created this scatter plot where we analyzed age versus goals, how many goals a player scored according to their age. And what we saw was the pattern here was the players between age 25 to 30 were the highest goal scorers in the Premier League. Some of these examples were Harry Kane. As we can see, his age during this data set was 27 and he scored 23 goals. And Mohamed Salah was the second instance where we can see he was of age 28 and he scored 22 goals, and so on and so forth. And the older you get, you are less likely to score a goal, except for some of these exceptions like Kun Aguero, Jamie Vardy, etc. And the younger you are, less likely you're gonna play a lot of matches and a lot of playing time, so there's less likely you're gonna score goals. So moving on to our next question was players from different nationalities playing in the league. So we want to check the diversity of the Premier League. So to do that, first of all, we need to, as we can see, our data frame. I'm gonna quickly scroll up. In our data frame, we have nationality as one of the column. So we have all the nations where which player belongs to what nation. So what we need to do is basically do a count of each player, each nationality, and group it by the nationality. So to do that, what we're gonna do is, first of all, we're gonna create a group by function. So I have my data frame as data, and create a group by. So what I need to group it by is by nationality. So nationality dot count. So as I showed you, we have the row count, and each row count is a unique for each player. So we're gonna do a count on the nationality, and then I need the name and sort the values by ascending equals to false. And then next is I'm gonna quickly check this. I want to reset the index. I don't want the index to be nationality, so reset the index and put the name as the count, so we know the count. So let's see. Okay, perfect. So we have the nationality and how many occurrences of that nationality, meaning how many players are playing from that nationality. So to plot this, I'm gonna quickly put this into a temporary data frame. Then I'm gonna create a figure, and what I'm gonna do is, again, you can do different things with the nationality. You can map the nationalities according to each of the country and then add a map plot. So but now in this, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna create a tree map in Plotly. So Treemap, ideal way to create a tree map is when you have hierarchical data, categorical data, but I'm gonna create Treemap anyway. So to do that, I'm gonna say px.treemap, and in this tree map, what we need to do is we're gonna pass our data frame. So data frame is equal to nationalities. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a path. So path will be our nationalities. Next is our values. So values are count. So we will see how this shapes up. Template, I'm gonna set the template to Plotly dark. Okay, and I'm gonna quickly visualize this and see how it looks. Okay, so now we can see it's a tree map, and each block represents a country, and if you hover it over, you get to see the count. And obviously we're gonna see a lot of data from England, a lot of players from England, as this is a Premier League data set, and we tend to see a lot of local players playing in the league. And then we can see France has a lot of players, Brazil, Spain, Ireland, and so on and so forth. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up this chart a little bit. What I need to do is I want to add the labels right here on the block. I don't want to see it hovering, like when I hover it over it shows the label, but rather show the value right away on the label itself. So to do that, I'm gonna do figure dot update underscore traces, and then text info is equal to label plus value, and then fig dot update layout to add the title. So what I'm gonna do is update underscore layout title text players from different nationalities playing in the PL. Okay, let's quickly check this. Okay, I have the title and I have the label right on this block under the country. Next, I need to quickly center this title, so I'm gonna add the title underscore x as 0.5, 50%, move it to in the center. So okay, perfect. So next, let's quickly see goals scored versus assist. I'm gonna create a joint plot, seaborn joint plot, to show it's kind of a scatter plot, but you see the bar distribution on top. So I'm gonna quickly add our data frame as a joint plot. Add the data frame. On the x-axis I need assists, so how many players scored what number of assists, and on the y-axis I'm gonna put goals, and the kind I need this joint plot to be scattered. So let's quickly visualize this, and we can see we have the joint plot. So with this joint plot, if we interpret the information given, we can see there is some of these outliers meaning there are players who scored more than 20 goals, and they also have crazy amount of assists, like 14 assists. And there are players who scored a lot of goals but does not even have one assist. So this is how you interpret the data. So as we can see, it's not entirely correlated, assist versus goals, because assists are more on the midfield side. Player playing in the midfield or on the wing, they tend to put in more assists rather than goals. But forwards are the one who score most of the goals, so it's not entirely correlated. And maybe I'll change the color of this plot to coral. Let's see. Okay, I like this orange color. So next, let's talk about the top 10s of the league. So the top 10 goal scorers, top 10 players with most assists, top 10 players with red cards, yellow cards, etc. It should be yellow card. So okay, let's see. So to do the top 10, I again can group the data, get the top 10, but I want to show a little bit more dynamic way of doing it with the plotly chart. So I'm gonna create a bar plot with the plotly express, and rather than first creating the data frame, grouping it by, I can directly pass the data frame as using the n largest function. So to do that, let's see. So I'm gonna do data means data frame, do dot n largest is the function to get the whatever n number of variables we define. So I'm gonna get 10, and I'm gonna put goals. So we already have a column called goals, so we need the top 10 goals from the data frame, and then the information I need is again the name of the player, and then the number of goals, and then the club, and then maybe minutes, how many minutes they were on. Okay, and let me show you first, and then I'll show you how we can directly pass this. So if I do this, this will create the top 10 players. So top 10 players by the number of goals and what club they belong to and how many minutes they were on the field. And this is our top 10 list, and you can obviously expand this to get the top 20 players. So this will group it by the number of goals, and that's a pretty simple formula, the function, sorry. So I'm gonna comment this out again, maybe delete this and uncomment this. Then what I'm gonna do is next is I'm gonna add our x-axis. So on the x-axis I need maybe name of the player, and on the y-axis I need the goals, the goals, and I'm gonna set a template to again slightly dark. Okay, let's quickly see. Okay, perfect. We have this bar graph with the ascending order, descending order, and we can see our top 10 goal scorers of the league. Just do a little bit of cleanup, and I don't see the club name and hovering it over, so I'm gonna add a hover on the club. So hover underscore name equals to club. Okay, now I see it, and then I'm gonna maybe put this in top goals, top underscore goals, and then top goals dot update layout to add the title. I'm gonna again say title underscore text is equal to top 10 goal scorers. Center it, title underscore x 0.5. And one more thing I need to do, I need to set a temperature on the number of goals. So meaning the more goals you have, the darker the color it should be. So I'm gonna add a color. So now we can see we have here is the bar showing the range, and the more yellow it is, meaning more goals. Next, let's take a look at the top 10 most assists. So again, same thing. So I'm gonna quickly copy this. Same thing, but rather than goals, this time I'm gonna say assists. So assists, and then here also I'll get assists and assist. And one more thing I need to change is top 10 assists by players. Okay, this should give us the top 10 assists. There's some problem. Y is okay, the Y is not in the okay. Here also we forgot to pass the assists, and the color should be also assists. Okay, perfect. So we can see Harry Kane again was the highest goal scorer as well, and he was a player who had most number of assists as well, following by midfielder Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, and so on and so forth. Next we're gonna see players with the most red cards. So to do that, what I'm gonna do is add the also we need, these are not just the players, we need the defenders who had most number of red cards. So to do that, first of all, I'm gonna create a data frame, maybe name df caps data, to get all the players playing as a defender. To do that, I'm gonna filter our data frame, original data frame, to on the defenders. So get the position where position is equal to df, and this will give us the data frame only for the defenders. And on the output, what I need is the name, number of red cards, yellow cards, and the club. And the club. Let's get that club. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly check the df. Let's see. Okay, I get when all these players are defenders in the league, and the red cards they have and the yellow cards they have, and what club they belong to. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the top 10 players with the most red cards. So to do that, I'm gonna do df_red. This time I'm gonna do a small df_red. Give me the df data frame, all the defenders, and again pass in our our simplest function to get the n largest and number of n number. So we'll need the top 10. So top 10 and get the red cards. And this will give us top 10 players with the most red cards. Okay, so we only have one player who had 2 red cards and a lot of 5 yellow cards. To plot this, again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say px dot create a figure, px dot bar graph df_red data frame equals to df_red. On the x-axis I need the player name, and on the y-axis I need the number of red cards and the yellow cards. So pass it as a list because I need both of them stacked on a bar, and then on hovering it over I need the club name. So hover name is equal to club, and then set the template to be slightly dark, and then next is I'm gonna add a color discrete map. Why I need that is I want to see how many red and how many yellow, and that will be distinct on the bar as well. So color discrete, I think it's called discrete. I'm gonna pass the dictionary, and it should be red cards. Make that a red, and for the yellow cards make it yellow. Okay, so let's quickly visualize this and see how it looks. Fig.show. Okay, perfect. So this is showing us the players with the most red cards and how many yellow cards they have. Yellow card is distinct as a yellow color, and red cards are labeled as red, and hovering it over you get the club name. And quickly I'm gonna add the title again, figure.update layout, title underscore text is equal to maybe top 10 defenders with most red cards, and center this. Okay, perfect. Next is the yellow cards. Again, we can expand this as much as we want to. So if I quickly do 20, it will give me all the 20 players with the most red cards and yellow cards. And next one is again with the yellow cards. I'm gonna skip this. Maybe you try from your end because it's kind of similar to what we did on top. And next is we are almost done, and what we're gonna see is the defenders who scored in this season. So it's very, I mean, defender scoring in the league, it's good, but it's a rare instance in every game. So we're gonna check all the goal scorers who were playing as a defender in the game. So to do that, I'm gonna again filter the data frame to give me all the defenders and who has, you know, the goals greater than 0. So to do that, first of all, I want to filter my data frame. So data frame, so I want to pass two conditions. To pass two condition, I need this bracket. First condition is data is equal to position is equal to defender, and my next condition is where the defender has more than one goal. Perfect. And in the output also I need again their name, their club, the number of goals, and what else? Do we need anything else? Maybe sort this by the goals, sort values by goals, and then ascending is equal to false. Let's quickly check this. Okay, we have Kurt Zuma, who scored 5 goals, and he played for Chelsea during that time. And then Lewis Dunk also scored 5 goals. One pattern is Lewis Dunk also had most red cards, as we saw earlier. So let's quickly plot this then and see how it looks on a bar graph. px.bar data frame is df goal, x-axis I want player name, y-axis I need goals, our name, club. I'm gonna default it. So this will give us all the players, all the defenders who scored at least one goal. Again, I don't like the default color, so I'm gonna add the template to be plotly dark. Okay, so one more thing is again to add the title. So fig, then fig dot update layout, title underscore text, defenders who scored, then title underscore access 0.5. Okay, perfect. Next is goalkeepers who scored an assist, and this is definitely a rarest incident. Is maybe once you get to see this in maybe one season or 2 seasons. This is very rare when a goalkeeper scores or assists. So to do that, again, I'm gonna do this quickly because we need something similar, and also one more condition we're gonna add. So to do that, we need that position as a GK, so GK goalkeeper, and the next condition is they scored a goal and also an assist. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 2 conditions here, where they have goals greater than 0, or I'm gonna add an or where their data.assist is greater than 0, okay, and let's close this and see, is there an error? Okay, there is an error in the bracket. Okay, this should be the close. Okay, I identified the issue. It was with one of these parentheses, and then we can see we have the goalkeepers with their clubs and how many goals or assists they made. Next, I'm gonna quickly plot this. Let's quickly plot this as maybe GK goal, and then px dot bar GK goal as data frame. On the x-axis I need name, and on the y-axis again I'm gonna pass the list to get the both of those things, goals as well as scored, assists. So goals comma assist. Okay, and then next is set the template. And then our name, our underscore name is equal to club. So put this in a figure and then update that figure to add the title. Okay, I'm gonna quickly copy this. It's much easier. I should have done that earlier. Goalkeepers GK who scored slash assisted. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have these players, these goalkeepers. Allison playing from Liverpool scored 1 goal, had 1 assist. Ederson from Manchester City, and West Bromwich player Sam Johnstone. Okay, so the last one we have is the number of penalty takers versus who scored. So who attempted the penalty and who scored the penalty. And this one is again I'm gonna create a scatter plot to see. Okay, the last one we have is the penalty takers who scored the penalties versus how many attempts they took. And I'm gonna create the correlation against the scatter plot to see the correlation. To do that, I'm gonna add scatter px.scatter, and I'm gonna pass our penalty attempted. We have a pretty nicely lined up column called penalty attempted, and on the y-axis I have penalty goal. And let's quickly see. Oh, we need to add the data frame. So data frame is equal to data. Okay, you can see something, a linear relationship. Let me clean this up a bit to see it better. So to do that, I'm gonna add, first of all, I'm gonna add the hover name. I need the club. The next template, plotly dark. Okay, and next this size, color it with the penalty goals, and again set the size as well, so we can see the larger the dot, the more penalties they have. Okay, perfect. We can see okay, one thing is missing. I just see the club and I don't see the player who scored this amazing 9 penalties out of 10, someone from Manchester United. So if we check the okay, our name should be the name of the player, and in the data we can pass our data. We can pass maybe the club they play for and also their position. Okay, okay, it was Bruno Fernandes who scored almost 90% of the time, who scored 9 penalties out of 10, and he plays as a midfielder, so from Manchester United. And the next is Jamie Vardy, also scored 90% of the time. He scored 8 penalties out of 10. And Jorginho. So most of these players should be midfielders. One of them is forward, midfielder, defender, and so on and so forth. And there is this guy. Okay, so he took one as well as our in the scatter plot. So attempted 1 penalty and scored 1 penalty. Okay, perfect. So I hope this made sense to you, and if this was little bit of help to you, I would really appreciate if you can like this video and share it with your friends who really wants to understand data visualization in Python and who wants to explore these libraries and how you can do it. I'll be doing more of the data visualization projects further, and also a lot of reporting, Power BI stuff, SQL stuff, and a lot of Python stuff. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.